Follow LangFocus on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Hello everyone, welcome to the LangFocus channel, and my name is Paul. A couple of months back I made a video about whether English is really a Germanic language or not, and I made the rather controversial statement that in a sense English is a hybrid language because so much of its vocabulary comes from the Romance languages and from other languages. That statement was controversial because the core of English is indeed Germanic, and it is actually possible to speak English with mostly or even entirely Germanic words. For example, instead of saying literature, which is a Romance word, you could say bookcraft. Or instead of saying ancestor, you could say forekind. It's not exactly easy to speak that way all the time, but it is possible. There is actually a movement to create and to promote a new form of English like this that's stripped of all of its non-Germanic influences, so that English would basically become the language it would have been if it had not been influenced by Romance languages and by Greek and others. Some people refer to this strictly Germanic form of English as Anglish because it's supposed to take English back to its anglo-saxon roots. Anglish is a form of English linguistic purism. Anglish seeks to achieve the Germanic purity of English in a few different ways. First, by choosing existing Germanic words rather than their Romance equivalents. 2. By reviving obsolete Germanic words. 3. By adopting words from Old English or other Germanic languages. 4. By creating new words based on Old English or other Germanic roots. So take this simple sentence. The man forgot his rain shade at home. What do you think rain shade means? Something that provides shade from the rain. If you guessed umbrella, that's right. Rain shade is a new word, created from rain and shade, and it's based on the word sunshade. Umbrella is a loan word from Italian ombrella. All of the other words in this sentence are regular English words of Germanic origin. And you probably noticed that the words are not changed into Old English, they're all in modern English, just without the non-Germanic elements. Another example. I onlook the man since he's very ithened. Now here's the original sentence I wrote in Standard English. I respect the man because he's very industrious. Onlook comes from Old English on lake, to observe or regard, but it seems the sense has been extended to mean regard positively or respect. Now why did I change the word because? Well, because the cause part of because is of Romance origin. Since is just a Germanic alternative to because. Ithened is a real English word, which is still used in some dialects of Northern England and I believe also in Scotland. And of course, when I speak of that man who's very ithened, I'm referring to a name-known show player I've seen on the Farseer. A name-known show player I've seen on the Farseer. Here's the original phrase in Standard English. A famous actor I've seen on the television. Name-known is a newly shapen word that comes from name and known, markedly. And show player is another melding of two bestanding words. And Farseer is a likeness of the German word Fernsehen. In everyday talk, we deal with a lot of Germanic words, but for some underwarps like witchship, we deal with many more outland words. In 1989, author Paul Anderson forelaid a well-known writ named Uncleftish beholding, which means atomic theory, in thoroughly Germanic English without any outland words. Let's take a look at some of that writ. For most of its being, mankind did not know what things are made of, but could only guess. With the growth of world-ken, we began to learn, and today we have a beholding of stuff and work that watching bears out, both in the workstead and in daily life. Being is used instead of existence. World-ken means physics. Beholding means theory. Stuff, I believe, means matter. Work, I think, means energy. And workstead means workplace. The underlying kinds of stuff are the first stuffs, which link together in sundry ways to give rise to the rest. Formerly we knew of 92 first stuffs, from water stuff, the lightest and barest, to emir stuff, the heaviest. First stuffs are elements. Sundry means various. This is a regular English word, it's just less common than various. Water stuff means hydrogen, barest means simplest, and emir stuff means uranium. In my wen, this seems like English, but somewhat weird English. Anglish is interesting because by trying to read it or use it, we get a sense of just how much we normally rely on non-Germanic vocabulary when we speak English. On the other hand, you learn that it is possible to speak English without any non-Germanic words if you're willing to use some archaic vocabulary or new vocabulary based on Germanic roots. The grammar is the same, so it's mainly a matter of consciously substituting different vocabulary. So, the question of the day. What do you think of linguistic purism like Anglish? Do you think there's any reason to remove foreign influences from a language, or do you see those foreign influences as just part of the language's development? Let us know in the comments down below. You can find out more about Anglish at anglish.wikia.com. Be sure to follow LangFocus on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and I'd like to say thank you to all of my Patreon supporters, especially these ones right here for their monthly pledges. Thank you for watching, and have a lovely day.